and welcome to the Narrowing Path, walking the spiritual walk. My name is Steve Van Einstein, and thank you for joining me for the closing day of June and the last day of the first half of this year, June 30th. I'm looking forward to this one. June's been just a magnificent month, absolutely stunning to the messages we've been getting, the instructions we've gotten, the comparisons we've been provided, all of these things that really help us get a spiritual temperature almost of how we're doing and what we're doing. So June's been just great month, great month. So I'm excited to see what it ends on. These can it seems like they come to a conclusion almost since in the previous months. So let's take a look at what this is. So this will be fresh to you and fresh to me, meaning this will be my first time hearing the podcast right here with you guys as I read it. So you'll get my genuine response, reactions, observations, and what I relate to about the reading. So here we go. This is June 30th reading of James Allen's Daily Meditations. Seers of the cosmos do not mourn over the scheme of things. Ooh, that's a nice way to open. Seers of the cosmos see the universe as a perfect whole and not as an imperfect jumble of parts. The great teachers are men of abiding joy and heavenly peace. They, the blind captive of unholy desire, may cry, "Ah, love, could you and I with him conspire to grasp the sorry scheme of things entire? Would we not shatter it to bits and then remold it nearer to the heart's desire?" Hmm, like this is the wish of the voluptuary, the wish to enjoy unlawful pleasures to any extent and not reap any painful consequences. The wise man subjects his desires to the divine order, and he sees the universe as the glorious perfection of an infinitude of parts. To perceive it is the beatific vision. To know it is the beatific bliss. Well, that was fantastic. I'm looking up beatific real quick just to make sure we're blissfully happy. Beatific. Let's see what else we got here. Yep, blissfully happy, imparting holy bliss, great happiness, calmness, etc. So, to perceive it is the beatific vision, blissful vision. To know it is the beatific bliss, the blissful bliss, the ultimate of bliss. That was a great reading because it described me. It described exactly my mentality before I started walking this. And I thought I just would find happiness and joy and contentment if I just pursued vain pleasure for as much as I need. I thought it was my right to pursue that to the extent I needed to pursue it at the expense of anything and anyone. That's the insanity of where I can get to. That's the insanity of my selfishness and my self-centeredness. So this is a great this is a this has got so much substance. I'll say that. So let's go through this line by line again. And we open up with seers of the cosmos do not mourn over the scheme of things, right? The details, the circumstances, right? It's just what it is. It's where we are. How we engage with it in this present moment to move forward is the only thing that really matters. If we mourn and we feel like we're cheated or we feel like it's not fair, fair. A word. That's a word that gets thrown around way too much, in my personal opinion. We can get caught up in that. Then we lose the ability to embrace the power of making decisions right here and right now. We get caught up in these things. So, seers of the cosmos do not mourn over the scheme of things. Accepting reality as reality is a powerful, powerful tool, not one that many use. I don't always use it. I forget about it, it seems like, when I get caught up in something. But all right, this is the first sentence of the main body of the reading. Seers of the cosmos see the universe as a perfect whole and not as an imperfect jumble of parts. So they see it overall. They see it um, in its entirety as perfect, balanced, just, and fair. That's a pretty big claim, right? Not a imperfect jumble of parts. It's something that's just limping along. That it is something that's just happenstance. It's a very big difference in those perspectives. Like, I just make it work with the crap we've been handed. Or you can say, this is a perfect creation. This is a perfect whole, is how we sound. Like entirety. The entirety of this cosmos and universe is perfect. And when you operate from that, it's a lot easier to actually to accept reality when it shows up, actually. The great teachers are men of abiding joy and heavenly peace because they know, and they're able to sit and they're able to be in this present moment. And they're able to understand some of these spiritual laws. They're able to understand these spiritual principles and disciplines, and have this understanding that the world is perfect. The only thing that messes up that understanding is my own personal desires and beliefs and ego. And when I can get when I can do the work to get around those, and I can come to a point of acceptance that this world is a perfect world, this universe is perfect, the cosmos is perfect. There's so much freedom and joy in that. There's peace in that. And thank God for that. It's an amazing thing, actually, when you sit down with it. And you say, you can actually, it's almost a meditation to start from a place of this cosmos and world is perfect. So where's the problem? Me. And when you start looking for problems and from that perspective and angle, right? You can change lives, change your own at least. So this is the fun part here that we're going to do right now. The this, the selfish cry for the entitlement of a pleasure-filled life. So um, here we go. The blind captive of unholy desire may cry. So someone ignorant to the fact that they are completely subjected to desire and what they want, what they think is right. A lot of people are ignorant to that. I was for a very long time. And I let that run my life. I let it run it right into the ground. Here's the quote. Here's the the cry from the blind captive of unholy desire. Ah, love, could you and I and him conspire to grasp this sorry scheme of things entire? Would we not shatter it to bits and then remold it nearer to the heart's desire? It sounds I like how he wrote it because it sounds like something anyone might say, right? Calling the world the sorry scheme of things entire, like this world is broken, right? And we should build this world on love instead. You know what our hearts desire, which we don't realize will actually destroy us. It's the selfishness and egotistical idea that our heart's desire will form a better world. It's selfish. Egotistical is trying to play God, right? He says here, remold it nearer to the heart's desire. What do you pleasure? Constant happiness with no juxtaposition to it, right? What is it? How long will that hold you until you want more? All right. Goes on here. This is the wish of the voluptuary. Let me look that one up too here. Voluptuary. That is a person devoted to luxury and sensual pleasure. Mm. So this is the wish of the person devoted to luxury and sensual pleasure. Yeah. So just that physical comfort, the physical pleasure, hedonistic living almost, right? The wish to enjoy unlawful pleasures to any extent and not reap any painful consequences. That's where my mind was. Because I thought pleasure was happiness. I thought pleasure was where I needed to get to stay in a positive frame of mind, right? I thought that a positive life was a pleasure-filled life, and that would lead to happiness. And that I've never been so wrong about something in my entire life. It's a gluttonous thought, isn't it? It's a selfishly gluttonous thought to think I need as much pleasure as I need to make sure I'm happy. What? It's insane, actually, at the end of the day, when you take a look at it objectively, it's insane. But you couldn't have convinced me when I was out there living this way. That was insane. And of course, I like that last part he added, that not reap any painful consequences. I just all pleasure, no pain, please. That's where I wanted to be. That should have been my mantra for years. Now he goes into the comparison here. The wise man subjects his desires to the divine order, and he sees the universe as a glorious perfection of an infinitude of parts. Because when we get down to it, the brass tacks, as they say, what impact are we having on the rest of the cosmos, on this universe? Like we can either join with it and understand that this universe and galaxy and cosmos and all of these incredibly and infinite things will continue on long past us. Our little troubles on a third, what do they call it? The third dirt ball out from a star trying to put life together is so inconsequential, right? The universe runs perfectly. The universe runs flawlessly without us or with us. So, um, the wise man subjects his desires to the divine order, meaning my desires do not come first. They do not run what I do. Pleasure is not the main goal of my life. Pleasure is not something I just seek outright anymore, right? I follow a spiritual way of living first and foremost. And through that, I'll find a life more joyous and loving and content and happy than I ever thought was possible. And then pleasure comes through there appropriately. It's an amazing thing how life can change and perspective can change. Glorious perfection of oh yeah, universe is glorious perfection of infinitude of parts. Yeah, it's running flawlessly. Okay, then this is the last line here. To perceive it is the beatific vision. So when you can see it, it's just this blissfully wonderful view, this blissfully wonderful concept. But when you actually know it by living it, right? To know it is the beatific bliss. When you live this spiritual way of life, when you live in alignment and in accordance with this universe, instead of fighting it and trying to take from it your little piece, become a part of it, align with it. And that is the highest form of bliss you will ever find in your life. What a blessing it is. What an absolute blessing it is. So, and that's where we're going to end it today. We're ending the first half of the year on a very substantial and deep reading meditation from James Allen. I couldn't ask for better, to be honest with you. And I'm looking forward to what July brings us. I'm looking forward to the rest of this year puts on our plate. So thank y'all for joining me and jumping on and listening faithfully so far. I'm so grateful for it, and I'm hoping they're getting something out of this. So um, we will be back tomorrow with July 1st. Until next time, thanks.